Good morning, folks. How you doing out there? It's Thursday morning. I've been running around back and forth. I made about 3 trips to my local hardware store. I was there yesterday to get some silicone to finish up on those vents, which pretty much I did. So there's a couple more that I could put in, but I'm not going to do that now. So while I was there, I asked them, do you guys, I know they sell spark plugs and filters for small engines and stuff. I asked them if they had any gaskets, and they said they do have some. So I said, okay, I'm going to bring my old carburetor in tomorrow, which is today, of course. So I brought it in, and they only had the gasket that goes between the carburetor and the engine, which is the most important gasket. So let me show you what that is. The other one that goes on to the air cleaner housing, I had to make it up, and I got my X-Acto knife, sat on a bench with lots of magnification, and traced it out as best I could and made up one. So this is the one. It's a stent, S-T-E-N-S, stens, and I marked on there carburetor to engine so that I will know, because I'm going to hang on to this. Of course, the carburetor is already in and mounted, but I'm having a big problem with the gas lines. This is the old carburetor, and I got the little rubber boot on the end here to keep the dirt out. The barb is like that. The new carburetor that I got from Champion goes straight out. So a 3/16 hose will go right on that. Champion sent me a shut-off cock, which I'm in the process of replacing, but I have to drain the entire gas tank. That is why I didn't want to put it in before. Even with this shut off, turned off, gas still comes out of here. That's why I got a second shut off, and I'll take you over to the generator. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Already been an hour draining this. I went into a panic trying to find 1/4-inch hose because I've cut the line right here that went to my second shutoff. You see this here? This has to be here because the original one didn't last very long. I think it's the damn ethanol, and you can't get ethanol-free gas around here anyway. So this started dripping almost from day one. I got the generator. So when they sent me another carburetor, they sent me a new valve, and they told me it's the ethanol that does it. So at that time, I installed this. Now, the barb on here is 1/4. The barb on here is 1/4. The barb on the carburetor is 3/16. I have 3/16 hose here. And I found some 1/4-inch hose. So it's all size gas lines. They get all fungus from being damp, I guess. No water in here, but you know. So what I did in order to couple the carburetor to the shutoff valve, my hardware store 5/16 to 1/4. In other words, they don't have an adapter for it. It's probably one available. And there's no such thing as a hose that would be skinny at one end and bigger a diameter at the other. Which you can see right there, that copper colored thing. It wasn't that expensive, it was only $2. It's a 3/16 barb. And it needed to have a 45 on it because if it didn't, I have to put the light down. I'm sorry, I can't hold the light and everything too. So it needs to be that way so it can connect up here. Unfortunately, I don't trust the new valve when it goes in. It'll probably leak again. So I'm going to have to use this. Now, I bought a gas filter, a small gas filter, but there's not going to be enough room to add it. So the new shutoff cock has a filter, so it should be okay. Now, I got the generator tilted up a little bit, and this gas is out. Look at that tank, no rust at all. This is what I've been saying. If you keep your gas tank in your generator filled at all times up to the top and used stable, your tank is not going to rust because there's not going to be any way of condensation to get in there. Condensation gets in and forms in the areas where the gas is not. In other words, if it's half full, the part that don't have any gas is going to get rusty, if it gets rusty at all. Okay? So I got this thing tilted back here. Now, it wasn't too bad getting the governor spring on there. A little awkward, but it wasn't too bad. But when I put this housing back, and it's not complete yet, this whole assembly here pushes on this. In other words, there's too much stuff here. Originally, the line came right from here to the carburetor. So, if I want to put a gas filter in here, I'm going to have to eliminate the shutoff, and I can't take that chance. If this thing starts leaking again, by leaking I mean not leaking out of the hose, but inside, even when it's shut off, like it is, like it's open now because I'm draining it. When I cut this hose, not this one, but the one that was on there, there's the pieces of the hose that were on there. This valve was shut off, of course. The tank was full, and it was leaking all over the place, and I had to scramble to try to find a hose so I can finish cutting this off and draining it into here. Now, I don't know. I think it's out. I think it's empty. So what I'm going to do now is I got my wrench. I think it's a 12 millimeter. I checked it, make sure. Yep. So I'm going to take this hose off. This is just slipped on. Change the valve, but I'm also going to make sure that the there's no sediment at this end of the tank. You see how the tank is here a little bit low in this area? So it's tilted up, and with this out of here, because it threads up into the tank, at least wise I hope it does. Let me show you on the other one. Now this is the filter right here, and there's a little gasket here, and there's a nut below it. Okay, and the nut turns, and if you keep turning it, it's pushing against the rubber. So you don't want to do that. You want to screw the whole cock in there, tighten it up, get it to where it's positioned correctly, and then tighten the nut up underneath. But because this thing screws up into there, I don't know what the thickness of the bottom of the tank is with the threaded part. But when I take this out, I'm sure there's going to be some sediment. So let me do that and I'll be back. I'm using the Kodak Play Touch. I don't have a proper holder for it. I have a little bench thing that I use in my shop, but I'm not going to go out and get that. I'm just going to work with what I got here. Alright, I got the new gas cock in. When I put this in, I backed the nut all the way off to the body, which was almost there anyways. Screwed this in all the way until I couldn't turn it maybe a half a turn more, and then it would be off angle. So then I brought the nut up to the bottom and socked it in. Now what I want to do is to put some gas in here. I don't want to fill the tank, because my luck it'll probably start leaking. Now, I'm assuming the valve is good, it's brand new, but you never know about these things. So then what I got to do is, this is a 1/4 inch barb, this is a 1/4 inch, so there's no problem connecting these up here. But you see, when this is up like this whole assembly is right up against here. Now I can shove it in the back of that, but it's going to be pinched. The problem is adding this second shutoff. I need to have that on because I don't trust these things. And what'll happen is it'll start dripping and dripping, and then if the carb needle valve and seat or float give me trouble, it's going to be a big problem. And I don't need any more problems. So I'm going to have to utilize this. As it is, I could not add a gas filter. I could not do that. There's not enough room. Now, if I would have to go out and buy another barb and come down like this and then over. I mean, it'd be a big ass assembly hanging here, then go back up and into the carburetor. I don't want to do that. So the shutoff, the filter that's on this should be good enough. The filter that was on the other one appeared to be okay. I'll show you that. Okay. It appears to be okay. It's a fine screen. I'm not even in camera. There is a nut on the bottom of this. I'm not sure what that is. So I don't know whether these can be rebuilt or not, but I want to hang on to it because maybe on eBay I'll grab another one to have on hand, because these are all made in China anyway, so what else is new? Okay, so that's the way it is. See, there's a gasket in there and so forth. So what I'm going to do right now off camera is I'm going to put the gas in, and a little bit of gas in it, and make sure it's not leaking. And then I'm going to hook up the hoses. I got to do this off camera. I can't work with the camera on and everything else. Before I did this, I put the carburetor in, and she started and she ran perfectly. So it's not surging or anything else. So the problem is the gas line. The reason I cut the gas line off of this, the little union that was there that went between this and the other shutoff, is because there was a crack in it. And had that broke, and it would, I would have had gas all over the gen house. Be back. Alright, this is the gasket I had to make up, and lots of magnification, tracing out from the carburetor itself. The worst one, at least they had it, is the one that goes from the carburetor to the block. They had that. They did not have this one here. So I made this, and I accounted for all the little openings. You can see the little round holes on each side of the butterfly, and then there's a little one on the right side of the butterfly. I allowed for all that. So we're good there. Sorry about the lighting. You see, what I had to do was I had to buy a barb, 3/16 barb. So there's a little piece of 3/16 clear hose that I bought from the hardware store that goes onto the 3/16 barb here in the carburetor. But if you look at the, I showed in the earlier part of this video, the barb coming out of the old carburetor is going up like this, which would have made an easier connection from here and right over. So I have this conglomeration, and now I gotta get this with a piece of 1/4 inch. This is a 1/4 inch barb, this is a 1/4 inch. I got to come out like this. So you see the bottom knuckle there, right where my finger is and where the clamp is just loose there? That's sticking out and in the way of the housing here. So when this housing goes on, it's pushing on this pretty hard. But there's nothing else I can do unless I eliminate this and just come into here, and I don't want to do that. Right now, this gas cock is not leaking, okay? But give it time and it will. Matter of fact, a little gas there now. It might be dribbling, but it's not. My fingers are dry. It's not leaking on from the tank to the valve up on top. It's dry there. It's just a little bit here, not much. So this cock works good. Now I can't make this much shorter. Cob is loose anyways because I had to take the nuts off. So what I could probably do is to shorten this just a little bit, which I'll do now, and see if that gives me a little more room. These clamps, I don't know if I need them on the barb. I probably do. So let me do that and I'll be back. Alright. That's right up against the housing. The barb. The 45 degree, a 90 degree barb rather. And the choke lever hits this, but it's wide open. So there's no problem with that. That's the best I can do, let alone add a gas filter. But because this has a filter in it, I should be okay. And the cocks are turned on, so where are they? Alright, I got everything back in. And I've been keeping a close eye on it. I'm going to try to paint the muffler. The muffler is warm now, not hot. I bought the high temperature Rust-Oleum 2000 degree that Pino told me about, gave me the link to. Now she's looking good. Both cocks are on right now. But what I don't like is this thing pressing right on that. Let me see if I can hold this light here. Alright, now the choke goes right up against this, but it's wide open. In other words, okay, half choke. I mean, no, that's full choke. Half choke is here. Okay. Alright. There's not much I can do about it. It's just that, you know, the only way I'd be able to have a better system is to get rid of this valve. I don't want to do that. The damn ethanol is ruining everything, and these valves seem to hold up okay, but this don't. So, and you know, you want to try to have it going down. You don't want to have to go up and then down. I think there might be a problem with flow. Alright, so I guess we're going to start it real quick here. There's not much gas in it. I got it tilted so that the gas comes out through here. I just want to make sure there was no leaks and my fingers are dry. So let's start. Okay, I had the tank cock shut off. That's why I was having a hard time starting it. Open the choke fully. Hope that ain't leaking. Story of my life. I didn't put any clamps on the the clear gas line I got from the hardware store. This 3/16 to fit right on the barb just fine. The clamps I got over here, I think that's what I got at my hardware store. I think these are too big. So let me go check underneath there. Well, the story of my life, I probably should have, if there was a small engine mechanic around here, I'd have him look at it. I have to run a half choke. No choice. I'll show you what I did with the gas line, but the only way I could have made a change on that would be to get rid of the second shut-off cock, and I don't want to do that because I'm afraid that the carburetor might leak again. You know, now this is the carburetor that I got from Champion, so I got it on half choke now, and it's been running for a good 5 or 6 minutes. I'll put the choke full open. Never had that bad before. The other carburetor was good. This is the one they sent me, and it looks exactly the same. There's an adjustment over here. But it does nothing. I tried it. We'll put the choke wide open again. Well, that's all I can do. Let me show you the gas line here. I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to let it run out of gas. Shut it down. Now I just got the main shut-off turned off, the new shut-off cock. We'll let it run out of gas, and I can get a close-up and show you what I did with the gas line. I had to run it down and then up. All right, it's running out of gas now. That's what I was doing before when I changed the gas cock originally. It never shuts off completely. So you need the second one. Okay. You got to have the second shut off. You cannot do it with one. Okay. You got to have the second shut-off. I cannot eliminate that. Now, there's no pinches in the line. I spent an hour going back and forth, cutting hose and everything else. I eliminated the barb, the 90-degree barb, and I went right into the thing because it was leaking at the barb. So, this is it. And not only was it leaking, this shut-off was way up in here and it was interfering with the cover trying to close. So I had to bring it out like this. There's no kinks in it, but you can see the gas comes down and goes right in. It shouldn't be restricted. There's no way I can come in from the top. I tried every combination. The problem is it's got the wrong barb on the carburetor, and that's the way they all are. So I'm going to have to run a half choke. I hope I can get enough out of this thing. There's nothing else I can do. Nothing. Story of my life. Let me show you the adjustment now that it's off. I got to connect this hose up. It's awful hard, good job. But that's just a vapor hose. That wouldn't affect it. See this here? Now I turned it quite a few revolutions different ways. Now this was not surging before when I had it with the barb on. Why would it be doing it now? Well, the best I can do. Best I can do. I'll put this back in and we'll give it one more try, but I don't think that's going to make any difference. Well, all fixed, as long as you run a half choke. Story of my life, every damn small engine I got runs half choke. Now, I didn't do a damn thing to this, other than reroute the hoses, that's all. It wasn't doing this when I had the barb in there. There's no pinching, the hoses are not pinched. It's running a half choke right now. I got this back in. The choke level is half closed. Right here. If I pull it to the right, it'll be full open. That's it. That's all I can do with the damn thing. Look at that SOB putting that thing in there. Well, I still got the one from Harbor Freight coming. I mean from eBay. But there's no point in putting that carburetor in. It's going to still do that anyways. Because that's just the way all my engines run. And it was alright before, so it's not the gas. That runs good on a half a choke. Fine. We'll just leave it that way. I have no idea if it'll take full load on a half a choke. I hope it will. Maybe I should try it out and put something on it. I have my drill press. I can try that and see if that runs on it, see if it runs the drill press. I know the Coleman 1800 watt, when you turn the drill press on, it just about stalls the generator out. So let me try that and I'll get back to you. I don't have any way to hold this camera, so I'll have to give you a report afterwards. Well, it's running the drill press, but I couldn't hear if it died down or not. Let me try to open the choke. It'll probably stall out now. Got to get the choke right in the middle. You go too far over, it'll choke it and die out. Now, let me turn it on again. I'm going to go out and pull the plug and put it back in. The drill press is on now again. Alright, I'm going to pull the plug. Now I'm going to put it in. Now this will see if the surge, how the surge works. Not too bad. So I'm going to plug it back in now. No, Yeah, not too bad, I guess. All right. Half choke. Best I can do.